And another good afternoon. Welcome back to AM 1410 WRMN right here in the beautiful city of Elgin, Illinois. It is the 4th of April, 2012. Before we announce this afternoon's show, I want to say a very happy birthday again to Derek Latham, who works here at the station. I try to say a happy birthday to him all day long in case one of these hours he's actually listening to the radio station. Happy birthday to Derek. In the meantime, it is the 4th of April. This is show number 125.
Can you believe it?
The Laura Dion-Jones show here Wednesday afternoons, 3 o'clock until 4 o'clock on AM 1410 WRMN. The show that lets you lose weight fast, get rich quick, and look young forever, just like the Diva. Diva, there's something different about you today.
Could it be my new lipstick?
Is that what it is?
Or could it be the treatment that I had pre-show by our today's special guest?
Something about you just looks healthier and better than it usually does.
I think maybe it's the treatment. We will get into that soon. How am I? I'm wonderful. We sprung right into April here.
Just wonderful. Usually it's this huge word that I've never heard of before that I have to look up on the Google dictionary.
Divalicious.
Divalicious. Now there you go. You're divalicious today.
I'm divalicious today. Happy Easter week, everybody. I can hardly wait for the Easter bunny to come Sunday. I hope he brings me Dove milk chocolate bunnies and a couple of Peeps.
Good for you.
I love Peeps.
Of course.
And I want to tell everyone there's still plenty of time to commit to get fit and lose all your unhealthy, unwanted weight before summer. That's right, this summer. And did any of you kids see this week's high school basketball play of the day from that high school in Iowa?
I'm sure Jeff Meyer saw it.
I saw some of it. Yeah, well, tell me what you caught your eye.
Seems the kids set up a football pattern in the middle of the basketball court, and then they got the game-winning hoop with a football play, and it was absolutely fabulous. You didn't see that?
We did. Well, I saw the end of it. I didn't know what they were doing. We did that in the backyard all the time, didn't we? We did that in the driveway.
They got out there.
We used to play base football. You'd run a pattern and
this
go.
was basketball.
Well, I know, but we're
base football is in baseball football?
Baseball and football put together. You go deep, and I'll hit you. You cut at the tree, and it's a touchdown.
Well, we used to cut at the Chevrolet, but the tree works too.
That's right. Well,
I thought that was the coolest thing I ever saw. Those kids got out on the floor, and I was like, what in the heck are they doing? And he was going to, hike the ball to the quarterback, and the next thing you know, bada bing.
Maybe we'll reenact that right here one week. Wouldn't that be good?
Oh, I want to learn how to do that.
I think we could do it.
Okay.
X's and O's out there on the chalkboard.
And you know what else? Deadliest Catch is back on with a new season.
Oh, I've been waiting.
They just started, and I want to tell you something. If those boys don't stop arguing with the captains of their ship and one another, I'm going to quit watching.
Yeah.
It's like watching a super huge...
Mutiny. It's like Mutiny on the Bounty.
Yeah.
Mutiny.
I don't know what you're saying. Or whatchamacallit of the Sierra Madre.
Yeah, Bogey.
Exactly.
Yeah, Treasures of the Sierra Madre. That's right, Ash Bogey. They fought me. I knew it could happen.
Well,
all right, I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you.
And one of my very favorites, Laura Linney, is coming back with the Big C, starting up their new season next Monday night.
That's so nice. You really do have those HBO and those. I have some TNTs and nothing.
I have some very select.
I'm just catching up on the closer. I had no idea it was in its 12th year. I had no idea. It's new to me.
I love I was a big Sopranos junkie when it was back in the day. And
he's got his own series where like an investigative series now on the investigative channel.
Gandolfini?
The main star. The main man.
James Gandolfini.
There was murder here, and he does that narrative like that. And you see him on camera. It's on the investigative channel.
No kidding.
270.
I'll have to check it out.
Comcast.
And did you know that on March 14th, we paid $4.26 a gallon for gas, and on March 21st, the price of gas at that very same station here in Elgin was $4.61.
But it's not $5 yet. It's not.
But it went back down to $4.46 today because I was there today.
See?
And I hear the prices of gas are going to be falling about a penny a day, and I think at that rate we could all retire.
Yeah, we could.
What do you think?
I think that lame excuse they use that we have a summer blend and it's going to go up naturally.
They're full of it.
It's the greatest line there is. Cubs 110 in a row. Tickets go up $10 a seat. It's the silliest thing I heard.
Silliest thing I ever heard was Cubs winning 10 in a row.
They can make anything they want. They can make new rules up.
I did get the undercoating for my brand new car, though.
He's on a car kick. Did you buy a new car this week?
No, but I got the undercoating for my new car when I get my new car. You know what the undercoating for the car is? Just a bunch of money.
It's like one of your...
I'm speechless.
One of your pre-show thing. It's a good undercoating.
Okay.
You're freshened up a little bit.
And can I announce one of my pet peeves of the week?
Please, it's your show.
This is going to piece some of my listeners. But Sarah Palin as a guest host on NBC's Today Show.
She's actually pretty. I saw some of that's pretty good. You know why they did that?
I couldn't take it.
They're very close now in the ratings right now. NBC, the Today Show is 4.8 $4 million a show, and Good Morning America is like 4.62.
And well, guess what? I couldn't take her squeaky voice, so I jumped ship, switched to GMA to get my Katie fix.
Katie Couric.
So they lost me because of Sarah.
Well, at least they tried, though. They tried for a major name.
Sarah Palin?
She was actually pretty cute because she told the story where she met somebody in the street, and where you going?
I heard that.
And I'm going to 30 Rock. And she had the wrong person.
She turned to her friend and she said, I told you Tina Fey would be here.
It's a great story. It's a wonderful.
That was cute.
And they had her reading papers, like from the Katie Couric 2008 interview. She opened the show. Well, it was cute. It's not exactly good journalism, but again, in the war that you have now in reality television and everything else, it was kind of cute. I thought Katie Couric, I watched both for a little bit because that's our duty. Mike and I have to watch that.
That's why I jumped around, but I couldn't take Sarah's voice anymore.
But Katie was out of place as we knew her, didn't have good relationship with any of the other folks, so even putting her in that spot is...
It was good to see her. She looks terrific with her longer hair. And anyway,
all right,
I got more news.
Did you see the sugar story on 60 Minutes?
Oh, that's coming.
I thought
that's coming. I ain't going to let this show slip by without that
That's
one.
why it's your nickname, Sugar.
I had about 500 people send me the link.
Yeah.
Just in case you missed 60 Minutes Sunday night.
Yeah, that's cute.
And I got more news. Another pet peeve?
No.
All right. Undercoating. What?
Are you ready for my other pet peeve?
Breaking in while you're on your train of thought on the radio show. What is it?
Today on the Today Show, is bariatric surgery safe and effective procedure for adolescents? Please. Whatever happened to a good, effective, healthy, low-carb diet and an hour of cardio play a day? Come on. We played volleyball and rode bikes till we couldn't see straight. And then after dark, we played it.
Did you email the Today Show today?
No, they're going to hear from me, though. Because Today goes on to say that bariatric surgery is a relatively new procedure for adolescents. Yeah, I say, and a whole new market to make some unscrupulous doctors more money. I'm sorry. But don't get me started on this, because you know how I feel. And one kid interviewed said, I'm a lot more happier now, and I have more energy, and I want to fit into my prom dress in my senior year. And to get into the program, the kids have to convince the surgeon that they're ready to change their eating habits and are serious about it. Well, you know what? When I was going to get screened for the gastric bypass surgery at University of Chicago, and then I didn't do it, and then I got screened again at Rush because I was going to do the lap band, and I didn't do it. I chose to do it on my own, as we know how I did it. Yeah. Anyway, they screen you, and you got to convince the surgeon you're going to do it. And 80% fail. 80% fail. This surgery is viewed as an option of last resort where diet and exercise don't work. But I want to say something to the audience. Please, please, please try a better diet. Surgery is not your only option. Yeah. It's not for anyone. Visit a good endocrinologist, not your internist if you're not getting anywhere with your diet and fitness. Where's she going with that ladder?
Going down to our office downstairs.
Remember, this is radio, although we do have the YouTube camera here. We have site props coming in.
So Gizzard.
Yeah, Gizzard. I've had Gizzard trouble lately. Too much rich food.
I had too much Gizzard.
Yeah.
I had turkey gizzards for lunch.
Your thought, because did you see Wilson Phillips' segment? Did you see that?
Oh, I'm getting to that too.
Okay, all right.
That's coming.
Are we really doing this today?
Yeah.
What's really going on?
Visit a good endocrinologist, one who believes in a healthy, low-carb diet like mine did, and he can point you in the right direction. And if I have to hear one more time about Carney Wilson's first bariatric surgery not working for me, seriously, I'm going to faint.
If her stomach's as big as a big egg or whatever it is, and she's going with that secondary surgery now, as she told you, why did she gain all that weight again?
Let me tell you something.
Okay,
it didn't work because she was petulant about it in the first place. She thought the surgery was going to be her magic bullet and do all the work for her. And she overrode it and stretched her stomach back out. And this is why I know this, because I have seen this many, many times in my certified wellness coaching practice and my motivational weight loss career with Commit to Get Fit and Elgin's Biggest Loser, and especially in my plus-size design company. I have had clients who would come in for clothes, and they were super, super, super sized, and some of them had the bariatric gastric bypass 3, 4, and even 5 times. Now, I personally think that those doctors should be smacked upside the head. These are people who are lazy, and they just refuse to catch on. And now Carney has the second gastric weight loss surgery with the lap band, and it's like, excuse me, do we really care?
They sang well, though. They also sang. They
do sing well.
They did well.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to take that away from her, but she's got to get a grip with her diet. And all she really has to do is eat less carbs and move more. Why is she looking outside herself?
Did you email her on that?
No, but I should.
Almost a reality show, isn't it? And put petulant in your magic hat. That's a great one.
Laura, if you're screened for these bariatric surgeries, you get screened and they ask you, are you ready for this? Are you going to change
They screen you like you can't believe.
So the screening is pretty much, are you going to change your lifestyle? Are you going to eat right? And are you going to exercise? That's the screening?
No, you have to answer like 100 psychological questions.
Okay.
You meet with psychologists.
Okay.
At least they did when I was screened for it at the University of Chicago. And then you go to another psychologist and get another battery of questions, and they're really the same questions but phrased differently. And they want to make sure that you are really fed up with what's going on. The doctor looked at me and he said, "You're only 317 pounds." And I said, "Doc, it's relative. I can't lose weight. And my weight is escalating. You've got to help me." Granted, I am not morbidly, super morbidly obese, but I'm 5'7", 317 pounds. I mean, I was a big, huge girl, and it was tough for me to walk.
So let me ask you this. After all this screening process, make sure you're psychologically ready to change your lifestyle so you can get this surgery to help you out, correct? If you're not psychologically ready for this, aren't you already not in need of the surgery anymore? I mean, doesn't it take you to be psychologically ready to lose this weight, to do it yourself and do it the right way, as opposed to getting that magic bullet and taking it a while? My point is, congratulations, you're ready for the surgery, but congratulations, you no longer need it. You are ready.
Exactly.
Let's take you to the gym and take you to the dietitian and do it the right way.
Exactly, because that's why when I tell the story of my experience with the gastric bypass and not going through it, I mean, I was crying. I felt there was no other way but having my stomach altered. And I had so many questions. They scheduled me for my surgery. It was now August. My surgery date was like first week of January. And they said, come to the support groups. You'll get all your questions answered. So I went to my first support group. There was about 30 gastric bypass patients and a few people like me who were going to have their surgeries done. We were sitting in a circle. Around us, behind us, and more circles were nurses, doctors, interns, residents, shrinks, dietitians, the rest of the support staff. Now, a girl gets up, an African-American girl, and she's crying her eyes out. And she said, I'm 13 months post-op. This was August. My weight loss stopped around the beginning of July 4th. She said, I am on the scale 6, 7, and 8 times a day.
Wow.
My weight loss stopped. My cravings for bread, pasta, sweets, rice, everything came back. My appetite is back. I can eat like I used to eat.
She's obsessing about it.
She was obsessing about it. She was crying. Now and then a guy, a Caucasian guy got up, middle-aged, and he said the same thing. 13 months post-op, blah, 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 blah. I'm eating 3 meals a day in protein shakes, etc. And I can't lose any weight and any more weight and this and that. And the Dr. Alverdi, I'm going to call a spade, Dr. Alverdi, who was one of the top in the country at the time, came in the door because the door was cracked open to this big room. And he came in the door and he strode in and he said, when are you people going to learn that the secret to true and everlasting weight loss is eat less and move more? And I'm sitting there listening to these stories and thinking to myself, what are you doing here? $100,000, you're going to be messed up, effed up for 6 weeks. You can only be able to eat a shot glass full of poached egg and maybe cottage cheese and baby food 2, 3, 4 times a day. That's it for the next 6 weeks, 2 months, whatever. You're going to wake up from surgery, feel like you've been hit by a Mack truck. You're going to do all this. And this guy who's the king of the hop in the United States, one of the 3 top doing it at the time, comes in and says the key to the true and everlasting weight loss is to eat less, move more. So I just got up and left. In the elevator was the girl who was crying her eyes out on the scale 6, 7, and 8 times a day. She's like, so what do you think? When's your surgery? I said, my surgery is beginning of January. I'm canceling it. I don't think this is the program for me. She said, why? I said, here's the punchline. You are 13 months post-op. You had 13 months to learn how to eat and how to move. And you have done neither. You have looked at that surgery to do it for you. This isn't for me. And she got real upset with me. However, in my mind, I was also thinking there was about 50 professionals surrounding this whole group, from nutritionists all the way to doctors. Where were they for 13 months? Where were they when they saw girlfriend weight slowing down maybe in May?
Where's this room of support now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then, a couple weeks later, I go to Rush. Same thing, lap band, same thing, blah, blah, blah. It's all up to you in the end. It is just a tool, Carney. You know, you got to get a grip on it somehow. You can't just, like these people I knew who were my plus-size clothing clients who had the surgery 3, 4, and 5 times, they stuffed themselves and they kept stretching it and stretching it and stretching it and stretching it and stretching it, and all of a sudden, the tool is gone. Anyway.
Well said.
Off my soapbox. Well, only because this is from my own... Oh, yeah, this is the Laura Dion-Jones Show, and we're on the air live. And I'm going to introduce our guest in a second here.
What about the sugar, dear? Did you get to that story?
We're going to get to the sugar after we do the interview. Right. Can you hold your horses over there? Is he over-caffeinated today or what?
We have conversation early.
Well, we're going to have conversation early, and then we're going to have... Unless you want me to get to the sugar story now. I mean, I could do things out of line.
No, save the sugar, because that's a show tease. Now you're a real radio star. Show tease them. They'll drive them from here to Batavia.
And to come later in the show, after our interview with the spectacular Kathy Regganie, owner of Energy Pathways Incorporated, located in Batavia. Kathy's a Reiki master teacher, craniosacral therapist, and a Young Living essential oils distributor. We're going to be talking health, holistic chronic pain management, and a whole lot more.
All I know is my office smelled wonderful, and I saw you guys doing something funky in there earlier. We'll talk about all that great stuff, yeah?
Yes,
we'll
get to
today,
that.
Didn't you have cake? Did you have cake?
Just a bite of frosting.
Jeez.
But he's down 2.5 pounds, and it was Derek the Eric's birthday anyway. Or Eric the Derek's birthday.
Yes, it is his birthday all day long.
He hates being called Eric, doesn't he?
No, he's okay with it. I tell you, he's fine.
Oh, he hates
He's fine.
Let me switch gears here a minute and really introduce Kathy Regganie. Welcome, Kathy.
Hi.
Regganie.
Thanks for having me on the show.
You're welcome. How many of us out there need to lose weight? Hold that thought, because on that note, we're going to get right down to business. Sooner or later, we can get some duct tape for Jeff's mouth. Did I say that?
I didn't guide that segment.
Stay right where you are, please, and don't touch that radio dial, because in the studio with us today are Mike Hunziker, cake-eating, one of my favorite guy pals, loyal sidekick, and trusty Boardman, who has this predilection for birthday cake. As does yours truly.
Who doesn't, right?
Oh,
exactly.
Me, come on. I made a beeline. They said, cake in the green room.
Right?
Jeff Myers, my remarkable co-host, and back from D.C., our very favorite YouTube camera girl, Valerie the Swan. Welcome back. And please stick around, because as usual, we've got a lot of fun and interesting talking lined up for you today. You are listening to the Laura Dion-Jones Show on WRMN, 1410 AM, and meanwhile, back at the WRMN Ranch, today's show is brought to you again by
Dr. Claire Elias. You know Dr. Claire, don't you? For 24-plus seasons, she's had that great chiropractic care office of hers right there, 2001 Larkin Avenue. You know where that is. You can find that. 847-888-9988 is that phone number for Dr. Claire. And her chiropractic ability is showcased best radio-wise in your mind's eye, but in your YouTube camera, right there with the posture of Diva, our host, right there. Dr. Claire has done her best to, and you've had other wonderful helps over the years, and you're determined with your own ability. But Dr. Claire says, let's get that spinal cord in gear, and that's the rest of history right there. 2001 Larkin Avenue. You too can be like that if you call 847-888-9988.
And would also like to thank snobhounds.com, a canine clothing company. Think Nike meets Donna Karen, but for canines. And would also like to thank Casey Tool, an automotive specialty tool company, available through your Snap-on mobile tool distributor. And a very special thank you to Casey for making this show and all of our shows possible. And it's time now for Laura's Motivational Minute. For the quote, are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Michael?
He's ready. He's got cake. He's ready.
Okay. You can't direct the wind, but you can adjust your sails.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Al Roker.
They could have been. It's an old German proverb. So it could have been by either one of those guys. You think Al Roker's got German in him? Well, he could.
It's a great country.
Yeah.
We'll check the 1940 census. We'll know.
Anyway, this week's motivational article is on bocajump.com, and it is called You Can't Direct the Wind. Are you guys walking yet? Sounds like an innocuous enough question to some. Instead, it was an on-purpose query that I directed toward one of my good friends who can't seem to find her way with her diet, fitness, and lifestyle change so far. And if you're like my good friend, think about this. What's the one thing that you can do for yourself this week that will make your number one priority moving toward a healthier, happier, lighter life? You can't direct the wind, that's for sure, but you certainly can readjust your sails until you find the right combination of diet and daily cardio that's perfect for you. Please read the rest of my motivational article on Elgin's.Boca Jump website under blogs, and look for You Can't Direct the Wind. Now, switching gears, it's time to give another warm welcome, this time for real, to Kathy Regganie, again, owner of Energy Pathways Incorporated, located in Batavia. She's a Reiki master teacher, craniosacral therapist, and Young Living essential oil distributor. And Kathy specializes in helping individuals learn their own energy system with the intention of feeling balanced on a daily basis. She is a teacher, a coach, and a guide on how to tap into your own energy and understanding your own energy pathway. And Kathy is going to show us how to utilize the wisdom of the energy systems in the body, such as aura, meridians, and chakras. She assists you with understanding how to balance your energy and why it's important. And what she did for me today, we had a craniosacral treatment in Michael's office on an air mattress on the floor, and it did smell heavenly in there.
It did. It smelled real good.
That's her essential oils and stuff. So I want to welcome Kathy to the Laura Dion-Jones Show today, and it's wonderful to have you here. And I want to thank you for joining us. First, give us a little 411 on your background, like, where you're from and everything.
Well, I'm from Batavia, Illinois.
Grew up there?
I grew up in Sugar Grove, actually, which is further west.
Wow.
Batavia, Aurora.
Okay.
Sugar Grove is out that way. Mm-hmm. So I grew up there my whole life, and got out of town for a year, moved to Nashville for 1 year, came back, and...
What'd you do in Nashville? Were you trying to make it in country?
I worked at a major corporation. Yeah, I tried to get out of the country, exactly.
No, make it in country.
No. For crying out loud.
She's Taylor's.
No, for crying out loud.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm here in Nashville.
I brought my guitar when we tried to the Grand Ole
Missing
Opry.
my Sugar girlfriend.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
No, it was a fantastic year. Great music, but no, I was not trying to break into the music city. That is for sure. I was working for a major corporation and had the opportunity, so I took it.
No kidding, that's good.
Yeah,
a lot of people should do that.
Yeah, it was, I recommend it. If you have that opportunity, get out of Dodge for a while, do it. You can always come back if you don't like it. So did that, I came back, continued in the corporate world until just a few weeks ago. And now I'm doing the Energy Pathways full time. I've been working at Energy Pathways for the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. And now it's a full-time thing. I don't have to do it just at night. I can do it all the time.
You're kidding. That's fabulous.
No, that's fantastic.
Energy Pathways, how is that related to you? Do you do your treatments or you practice at Inner Elements Pilates Studio?
Yes, that's where my office is located, is with the Inner Elements Pilates Studio. Charlotte Trucks is the owner over there.
I highly recommend Pilates. I don't know if Mikey or any of you listeners know, but I was a long-time Pilates devotee. I took 6 years, once a week privates. And then there is another philosophy or modality called gyrokinesis, gyrotonic. I don't know how to explain it to people other than it is kind of Pilates-like but different. And it's awesome for people with any kind of issues. I'll tell you who was in Pilates studio with me. Several of the bears. Several of the bulls. Ballet dancers from Joffrey Ballet. Dancers from Gus Giordano. So if it's good enough for bears, bulls, professional athletes, and professional and semi-pro dancers, imagine what it can do for people who really, follow it. Like a practice, like a daily practice.
Were they current bears?
Yeah, absolutely. They're there all the time. But look where I go to. Look at my health club.
Yeah.
I mean, who works.
You and Oprah are right there all the
like
time.
Buds, big Buds. Yeah, when she comes to
you
town.
You told her to cancel. Get Rosie
Well,
up
you know
here.
who I see all the time? Otis Wilson.
Yeah, well,
BJ Armstrong.
Yeah.
What a doll.
Both of those are not currents, but you'd see members of the current
I will
staffs.
tell them what you said.
Well, they're not current players. That was my question.
I will inform them.
Otis was the number one pick in the 1980 draft, for heaven's sake.
I always thought BJ was a small guy until I met him. He's a giant.
He's darling.
And now he's a successful agent. He is Rose's agent, isn't he? That's Italian now. He's an agent.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's a great agent.
See there. Okay. So anyway, back to Kathy Regganie here, and our okay. So what do you want to talk next?
What would you like to talk about next? Well, it's interesting you're talking about the Pilates studio, and I'm working there, and it's really a nice combination with Pilates using movement and the craniosacral also working with movement and the ability to move. So it was really a nice combination with the two of us finally getting together and working out a situation where we could work together. So now we can work with each other's clients and make sure all the clients are moving well.
Yeah, that's got to be quite a facility. And movement's key for all ages, as you know. Let's go a little bit out of order.
Okay.
Why don't we explain to the listeners a bit, and to the guys in the studio, because Mike just kept like raising his eyebrows at us.
Hey, I just started walking. I'm not ready for the whole Pilates thing yet. So
so let's tell everyone what craniosacral is.
So craniosacral is a light touch therapy where the practitioner puts hands on very lightly while the person receiving the treatment is laying on a table on their back, fully clothed, relaxed. And the facilitator is the one who places hands on very lightly, about 5 grams, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending on the situation. And with that, it facilitates the tissues that surround your sacrum, your spinal cord, and the bones in your head to release the tensions and move back into alignment. So, for instance, a chiropractor will take a section of you and move it very swiftly and make adjustments that way. The craniosacral therapy is a very light touch modality where it really helps facilitate your own body make those adjustments softly.
And she was very gentle, and what did it take, about an hour?
It was about an hour, yeah.
And time flew. And, I was in a little bit of a meditative state, and every area that she did work on me, I could feel, especially because she was going after the spine because of my spinal issues. And then when she got to my cranium, my head, I felt movement there. It was very odd. It was very strange. And that's why when we knew she was coming in today as a guest and she offered to do this for me, I thought, why not take advantage of it? I'm living downtown Chicago, studios in Elgin. She lives in Batavia. And that's why we were doing that thing in your office. But I got to tell you something. My spine feels energized. My head feels energized. And because I have these issues going on lately with my spine and my cervical spine and my rotator cuff and everything, I'm on the major hunt for holistic pain management. So this girl is right up my alley, along with Dr. Claire Oleos, who is a terrific chiro, and she doesn't do a lot of bone snapping, neck cracking stuff. She's an acupuncture queen. But you know something? It's halftime, so we got to hold those thoughts. And we'll be right back in a moment with Kathy Regganie, Reiki Master Teacher, Craniosacral Therapist, and Young Living Essential Oil Distributor. And we're talking health, holistic chronic pain management, and a whole lot more. So stay tuned, because you're listening to the Laura Dion-Jones Show, and we're on WRMN 1410 AM, and we'd like to thank our very special sponsors.
They would include Dr. Claire Oleos. You two would make a great combo there.
She would.
Test case.
I got to introduce her to Claire.
I wish they together in the studio. That would be heavenly.
Exactly.
The modality rate would be incredible. And also, we have 2001 Larkin Avenue. That's where Dr. Claire is. You know that. Chiropractic care. Again, we look to Pan left there, camera person. We look to the great, well, you really are, you have a hue around you now. You have both chiropractic care.
I told you.
And Kathy at Aura.
I told you.
We're saying words that boys just never get together and say, aren't we? We just never say these words. Your aura is wonderful. With the help of Dr. Claire, of course, and Kathy.
Without question.
847-888-9988, Dr. Claire Oleos. All right.
And we'd like to thank Snob Hounds and KC Tool, weekly sponsors of ours, without whom our show would not be possible. You are listening to the Laura Dion-Jones Show, and we are back on the air with Kathy Regganie. I love saying this, Reiki Master Teacher, because I'm a Reiki level 1. We'll get into Reiki. That's something else, boys.
It's office supply furniture. No, I'm sorry. That's
something else, you boys.
I do know what that is.
Oh, my heavens.
Well, we're just a little confused. We had cake today. He had cake.
That's the sugar overload.
That's right.
Anyway, let's get back to, we were talking about craniosacral. What makes it so effective? Craniosacral therapy.
Well, it's really interesting because what makes it so effective is the light touch piece. So if you think of a rowboat standing on a dock, and you've got a rowboat with a rope in your hand, and you yank the rowboat, it gives resistance, and it's not as easy to pull in. But if you slowly pull that rowboat in, it kind of eases its way back in to where it should be. So that's the theory behind the craniosacral. And that's what makes it so effective, is that it's slowly getting things back into alignment where it'll stay. and it'll be happy there. Where I love chiropractors myself, not everybody does.
Oh, I do.
You know, when you get that adjustment, me personally, I love it, but a lot of people have issues with that. And sometimes, depending on, you know, how stressed or the situation, when you get back in the car and